So let's have a little chat, shall we? Let's have another little occult chat. This is your host, The Occult View. And I want to have a chat about Faizon Love, who was born Langston Faizon Santacina. That's interesting, he has that last name. But I want to have a conversation about him because it's just something about him that rubs me the wrong way. He was recently on Vlad TV. Vlad TV interviewed him recently. And the conversation came up about Taraji P Henson and her status and her accomplishments as an actress, right? And while I will admit Faison did not drag her, but he did not give her any props either. And I was like, why is he coming at? I understood why he was coming at Monique like that because he and Monique are rivals. They're both comedians. He's supposed to be a comedian. I've never really seen him say or do anything funny. To me, he's just a nasty, typical man. To me, just saying. Um, this man is morbidly obese. He looks like he can barely breathe, and he's smoking cigars. Okay, he's a Gemini, by the way. Gemini. And he is a true Gemini to his nature, male Gemini, because he's very, very nasty. It's one thing to tell the truth, but it's another thing to be a nasty, malicious person. And basically, Vlad asked him about Taraji P Henson's recent, you know, I'm not going to say it's a controversy, but Taraji has been in the news lately because she spoke out against injustice and being underpaid as a black actress in Hollywood. Now, I'm not the biggest Taraji P. Henson fan in the world, but I do like her work. And when I say I'm not a big fan of hers, it's not because I have anything personal against her. I think Taraji P. Henson is a fine actress. I just don't look at a lot of her work. But I did like her in Baby Boy. She was very good in that. And she was also good in I Can Do Bad All by Myself and that movie that she played in. I think it was called, what was it called? Oh, not Proud Mary. It was a horror movie where she played a really she played like a fatal attraction type of character, and I can't think of the name of it now. And I think they're going to end up doing a part two to that eventually. I think they should anyway. She was very good in that. So for anyone to try to, well, whether I'm a big fan of hers or not, but for anyone, especially a man, to try to come on and try to, take away her accomplishments, especially another black man, that is really, really low class. And Faison Love is added to that list of people who are not rich. But then when I began to research him, it became clear to me why he speaks the way he does about black Americans because he's not a black American. He was born in Cuba. So he's third world. He's third world because that's where he was born. He's a third world black person. And they have an energy with us as black Americans. And I don't give a fuck who gets offended about me saying that. Okay? I tend to get along better with Trinidadians. They're a little bit more cooler than the Africans, or I guess you could say the Cubans, or even, and Jamaicans are cool too. Jamaicans are cool too. I like them too. Jamaicans are real cool. I really love Jamaicans. They're cool peoples. That's who I was. I was raised around Jamaicans and shit. I might have some of all that in my blood. Because people swear up and down that I'm Dominican. Shit, some people even said that they thought I was Haitian. I don't know. But anyway, it was just the way that he was talking. And for him to be up there with Vlad TV, with that white man saying those things about Taraji P Henson, because we all know that Vlad TV is messy as I don't know what. That's probably why you don't see too many reputable white people. Do you notice that a lot of reputable, acclaimed white people, they don't go on his show? You don't see Meryl Streep on Vlad TV. You don't see Angelina Jolie on Vlad TV. You don't see Lindsay Lohan, Miley Cyrus. You don't see any of them. Even you don't see Ariana Grande. You don't see any of them on Vlad TV. But he always goes after the broken parts of the black community, like a Faizon Love, and he's broken. So I was looking up some information about him. Right, he defended Bill Cosby back in 2014 before Bill Cosby was even found, before it was found out that he actually did a lot of this shit that he did. He was convicted. He was defending him. And he referred to black Americans, Faizon Love, he referred to black Americans as racial slurs. And this is a man that is deeply, deeply melanated. And he referred to black Americans as racial slurs. This man is morbidly obese. His stomach is sitting on his chest. And this is not to make fun of him, because I'm a big boy myself. But my stomach does not sit on my chest. Okay? It does not sit on my chest. He is what I call, excuse me, Oswald Cobblepot body. This is an Oswald Cobblepot built type of man. If you want to know who Oswald Cobblepot is, go look it up. That's the Penguin from Batman Forever. I'm not Batman Forever. Batman 2, Batman Returns, the one with Michelle Pfeiffer and Danny DeVito. Danny DeVito played Oswald Cobblepot, the Penguin. Faizon Love should have played in that movie. He would have been perfect. They wouldn't have had to dress him up or anything as the Penguin. I'm just saying. They wouldn't have had to dress him up as the Penguin. They would not have had to use any type of effects for the body parts, or props for the body parts. He has the body to be Oswald Cobblepot. My question is, why is he trying to subtly attack Taraji P Henson? I'm going to tell you why. Because he's part of that list, like I said earlier, of people who are not really rich. I don't even think he's all that talented or funny, to be honest with you. He's not acclaimed. He talks about Taraji P Henson, and he made the statement that he made. See, he's trying to throw spell work at her. He's probably mad because back in the day, maybe she rejected him or something like that. I don't know. Because Taraji is not a bad looking woman. And back in the day, she was absolutely gorgeous. She still is gorgeous. But she was really gorgeous back in the day. Okay? But for him to sit up and put out that type of spell work on her, for him to do that, he said, what type of, basically he was trying to say Taraji P Henson was not worth the money. Her work was not worth the money that she is requesting from Hollywood. They were all in her pockets. They're trying to take money away from this woman. They're trying to take money out of her pocket, and they're trying to degrade her all in the process. And I don't like shit like that. Why is this grown man sitting up? You don't see white men doing shit like this. Not publicly. And if you do, it may be one off brand you may see do it, but you don't see white men doing stuff like this. You don't even see Hispanic or Mexican men doing stuff like this. But you see a lot of black men doing this to black women. And I really didn't want to talk about this. I didn't want to go to this black woman, black man stuff. I didn't want to talk about that. But how can you not? How can you not talk about it? Now, this is a man that has no children. Almost, I don't think he has any children. I could not find any information on him having children. He has not had any known relationships with any women. The only people that he's ever mentioned is his mother and his sister. And I'm just bringing this up because that's very interesting. That's very interesting. And then when you read his biography, the only thing that you see is violence, attacking people, arrest, and defending sexual predators. That's all you see. Then he comes out with this Vlad TV interview. I didn't even know the dude was even still alive, to tell you the truth. And it really makes you wonder because he came up in the Robin Harris era. And Robin Harris was a comedian. He played the father in he played Kid's father. I believe Kid was the light skinned one. Yeah, he played Kid's father. Robin Harris did in House Party. The dark skinned black guy. Robin Harris was a comedian. And it's so interesting how Robin Harris died, I'm going to say under mysterious circumstances. He was not on drugs. He was not an alcoholic. But it's so interesting how he dies. And then Faizon Love, who was connected to him through certain movies and circles, he comes up after Robin Harris dies. And the fact that he feels that way about Black Americans, the racial slurs this man has made about Black Americans, how come we haven't canceled him? Well, he's canceled on default, in my opinion. He's canceled on default. Why is he trying to take money out of Taraji P Henson's pocket? Because that's exactly what he's trying to do. He's throwing spell work at her to try to take money out of her pocket. Now, if that's how he feels about her work, or if he feels as though she is not worth the money that she's requesting, because the issue is, if he feels that way, let me say this. If he felt that way, why not just say that, to people behind closed doors? Why would he make that public? And the reason I know this is spell work is because Taraji P Henson, as I stated earlier, has been complaining, and I think rightfully so. She has been complaining along with other Black actresses that they don't get the respect and they don't get the pay that they deserve in Hollywood. And people have a right to speak their truth, just like he has a right to defend Bill Cosby, even though he was found guilty. Even though, and I don't care anything about, well, Bill Cosby, he did this. I don't care anything about that. He was found guilty. And those are the facts. But Black people want you to go on emotion and theories and all of that other stuff. But those are the facts. He was found guilty. And Bill Cosby is not a nice guy. He's not. He's not. The only thing I can say is that thus far, we haven't heard about him messing with any underage children. We haven't heard about that yet. So thus far, at least I guess that's a check mark in his corner. But then again, no, it's not. The reason that he has an issue with what Taraji is saying is because he's part of the problem. She has been saying that Black actresses are not receiving their just due. And she was really talking about the treatment that she and I guess the other Black actresses received while filming The Color Purple. I mean, everybody knows what she said about that. We all know about that. People have a right to speak out and speak their truth and say, hey, listen, this is not right. So while he sits up and he set up and basically tried to shame her, This it was all a shaming tactic. He tried to shame her. You know, black men, they're good at that. He was trying to shame her for saying, hey, listen, I don't think that I'm being treated fairly. It doesn't matter how we feel about Taraji P Henson. At least she took a stand. And I understand what Monique is saying, that she's been saying the same thing for years, but because Taraji said it, now people are taking it seriously because she's a more, basically Monique was saying that, you know, she's a more attractive woman or a more acceptable woman as far as Hollywood standards. So that is why she's being taken seriously. When Monique was saying it, she was not. And people can go with that narrative if they want to. I mean, it is what it is. But the fact that this man was trying to attack her, in my opinion, he wasn't doing it in a nasty way, but he was doing it in, I'm going to say, a nice, nasty way. Black men have a way of being nice, nasty. I can remember the last three movies that Taraji P Henson did that I liked. Like I said, it was the one where she played this crazy wife whose husband divorced her, and she started stalking him and his new wife. I Can Do Bad All by Myself, Baby Boy, Benjamin Button. I can think of the last three. I can think of three or four movies of hers that I liked. I can't do the same thing with Faizon Love. I can't do the same thing with Faizon Love, and I like Benjamin Button as well. But when it comes to Faizon Love, I can't do that. So what gives him the authority to speak on Taraji P Henson? Because he's a hater. That's a hating ass, ain't shit ass motherfucking dude right there. You hating on a woman's pockets? You mad because she's speaking out against injustice? While you sit up, while he sits up and embraces injustice and supports injustice and supports those who are unjust. You know why he supports Bill Cosby? Because he's probably involved allegedly in the same bullshit. But it's mighty funny, like I said, that Robin Harris died. He died of a heart attack. He was only 36 years old. It's so funny how Robin Harris died under those mysterious circumstances, and then he comes up. And he kind of favors Robin Harris, but Robin Harris was a real comedian, in my opinion. He was funny as I don't know what. He really had talent, and I really liked him. And everybody back during in the early 90s when he died, we were all sad behind that. And you know, the thing is, for black women, these type of men, some of them are right up under your nose and you may not even know it. And that's no fault of your own because they are very good at being, you know, very, very shifty, very, very, manipulative chameleons. Very, very much so. These are the types of black men that you run into that's trying to date you. They see that you're doing good for yourself. And then in their minds, they're trying to find a way to undermine you. Now, not all black men. Let me be clear about that. I'm talking about the ones like this Oswald Cobblepot built guy right here. I'm talking about people like him. That was so, and what's so interesting is that, and that must have been spirit. He couldn't drag Taraji P Henson. As he was speaking about her, he kept hesitating. He couldn't find anything bad to really say about her. And like I said, I'm not the biggest Taraji P Henson's fan. I'm not the biggest fan of hers. But at the end of the day, a lot of people said that I haven't seen the recent remake of The Color Purple, but a lot of people have said she did an excellent job in that role. And I believe them. I believe them. He's trying to take money out of her pocket. For him to say what movie has Taraji P Henson done, or has she ever done any work that was worth $80 million, that's a hater. That's a hating ass man trying to take money out of a woman's pocket. That's spell work. And he looks like a nasty type of person that will sit up and throw spell work at people simply because he's jealous. Simply because he's jealous. I was looking at his fingers. His left, what was that? His right hand? The fingers on his right hand, the fingernails his fingernails are black. They're discolored and they're black. And I'm not making fun of that, but I'm pointing out that there are a lot of things that people can say about him and his appearance while he's sitting up here taking up for predators and attacking women who are speaking out against injustice. It really has nothing to do with Taraji P Henson. It's the fact that he is trying to attack someone who is speaking out against how they felt they were treated unfairly and maligned. That is the part that really pisses me off. He's trying to attack that. That's the whole reason why why he was having that conversation in those little snippets that I saw from Vlad TV. Why in the world would a black man attack a black woman who said, listen, I'm not being treated fairly. I'm not getting paid fairly like everyone else. And that's a problem. And I don't and I ain't got nothing but respect for Taraji saying that. I don't care what Monique said about, oh, they listened to her. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It had to be said. It had to be said. That was her truth. And he didn't have the right to come on and try to shame her for speaking her truth. That's what it was all about. So why is a 55-year-old man, who has no connection to any women that we know of, he has no children. And again, let me repeat this. Let me reference this again. When you look up his history, all you see is arrest, violence, and supporting predators. That's all you see. I'm not saying Taraji P Henson is perfect. I'm not saying anyone is perfect. But for him to be opening his mouth to subtly attack someone who is speaking out against the injustice that they have received, that's a problem. But that's the nature of the world that we live in now. They don't want you to say, hey, listen, that hurt me, that bothered me, let's change that. We don't live in that type of energy anymore. We don't. Now, I'm not calling Faizon gay or anything like that. I'm not saying he's gay or anything like that, but I mean, whatever. If people want to, take it that route, they can. But I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that his actions are bitch made. They are bitch made. Why you trying to take money out of that woman's pocket? Why are you trying to take food out of her mouth? You look like you eat very well. You don't look like you starving. That's my whole question. And one thing I notice about Gemini men, if they don't like somebody, don't have to, the person may not have even done anything to them. But when they don't like somebody, they will try to destroy you with their words because they're air. They are air. And they will try to destroy you with their words. And that is exactly what he was trying to do to Taraji P Henson. Just like he made the statement that Monique was entitled. Let me tell y'all one thing. I know I've been critical of Monique on my channel at times, but let me back up for a minute because see, I always when people talk when people talk sense and they make sense in what they're saying, then I'm with them. Monique did an interview. I'm sorry, she didn't do an interview. Monique did a live video with her and her husband a couple of weeks ago. A couple of weeks ago, she did a live video with her and her husband, and they were addressing Vlad TV because evidently Monique did an interview that never aired. Vlad TV interviewed her, and the interview never aired because Monique's husband and herself they did not like the they didn't like the terms of the contract. Let me just say that they didn't like the terms of the contract, so they didn't want that interview to air. That's their right. That's their right. If they didn't like the terms of the contract, they didn't like the terms of the contract. So I guess it came back up because Vlad TV was talking shit about them to another actor he was interviewing. I forgot, or another entertainer he was interviewing. I forget the person's name. So Monique and her husband, they came on, they came on to defend themselves and to explain why they requested that interview, or I guess they got legal shit involved, where they had that interview not air. So during that live that Monique did with her husband, she made a very valid point. And this ties into what Faizon Love was trying to do to Taraji P Henson. She mentioned all of the black women who left this world in that entertainment industry broken, and believing that they were not good enough. She mentioned Eartha Kitt. She mentioned Nell Carter. She mentioned Shirley Hemphill. And if you don't know who Shirley Hemphill is, she played Shirley on What's Happening. You know, the big lady that ran the restaurant. She mentioned, who else did she mention? She mentioned Ethel Waters. She mentioned a lot of black women who left this world suffering and pain. She mentioned Hattie McDaniel, practically just being thrown away. That is what she did. Now, I know about Nell Carter. I know about Nell Carter. I know about Hattie McDaniel. I also know about Mabel King, who played the mother on What's Happening. All of those women, Dorothy Dandridge, Nina Mae McKinney, Billie Holiday, all of those women left this world. They left this world feeling like they weren't good enough. I didn't know that about Eartha Kitt, but I can understand that because if you read Eartha Kitt's story, you'll understand why she went through, you'll understand what I'm saying. Eartha Kitt, she went through some shit. Eartha Kitt went through some shit in her life. She was a survivor. And she went through some shit. And Monique, she teared up. She started crying because she said, I'm tired of hearing these stories about black women not getting their just due, leaving this world feeling like they were not loved and thrown away. Nell Carter, Hollywood definitely threw Nell Carter away, and she was one of the best in the business. Nell Carter could sing, she could dance. Her career should have been a lot more extensive. They got her hooked on that cocaine. She told us her story. And she left this world broke, feeling like she wasn't good enough. And so many black women have to go through that. And black men too, the decent ones. But we hear this a lot about black women because black women suffer in silence a lot of times. My grandmother left this world the exact same way that those women that she mentioned did. My grandmother wasn't a celebrity, but she left the world the exact same way. She left this world heartbroken and broken, feeling like she wasn't loved. She left this world the exact same way. So when we have a Faizon Love that's sitting up here trying to judge a black woman and trying to throw spell work at her because she's speaking out against injustice, I think it's worth to have a rebuttal to that. Sir, I think that deserves a rebuttal. He doesn't have the right. He does not have the right. He hasn't earned the right to speak on shit, especially when he's defending predators. Make that make sense. Make it make sense. Please make that make sense. What right does he have? What has he gone through? He hasn't gone through anything. He's certainly not missing any meals. He hasn't gone through anything. Some of these black actresses have said that they didn't even have money to buy food. And he's sitting up here judging Taraji. He don't know her story. He don't know what she's been through. She's speaking out against injustice. And like I said, this isn't about me liking her as a fan or anything like that. It's the fact that she was speaking out against how she is being underpaid, undertreated, mistreated, maligned in that industry. That's what this is about. And this dude here comes along trying to undermine her and undermine other black women at the same time. Faizon Love. Vlad TV knows. I ain't mad at Vlad TV. I ain't mad at him. If I can make some money off of people like him too, I would. I ain't mad at him. I ain't mad at Vlad TV because a lot of black people get mad at Vlad TV, but you all don't get mad at the black people who go on there doing that ghetto ratchet shit. That's some ghetto ratchet, malicious, low class shit. And people like him, I'm going to say it, don't deserve to have a lot of money. He doesn't deserve it. He doesn't deserve to have that acclaim, the little bit that he does have. He doesn't deserve it. Now, I understand he has his opinions. I get it. He can have his opinion about Taraji P Henson as an actress. I don't care anything about that. But it's interesting that the reason he made these comments was because of her speaking out against injustice. That's my problem. Anyway, I've talked enough about this. I just had to get that off my chest, child. I just had to get it off my chest. This is the Occult View. Thank you for watching.